Alright, man, news came down that Vontae Davis has sadly passed away at the age of 35. It dropped on April 1st, and some people are idiots. So if you're like me, I'm pretty sure at first you didn't want to believe it was true. But every outlet was covering it, and then his former teammates and coaches all came out and started paying their respects. I guess when I saw that, I kind of started to realize that it was real. And while the cause of death is actually unknown, the police don't believe there's foul play involved. So Vontae Davis is the younger brother of tight end Vernon Davis, who played for the 49ers. And we should all send our thoughts and condolences to the family, because they're going through it at this difficult time. Vontae was found at a ranch owned by his grandma, who adopted him and his 6 siblings when they was kids. She actually had to get them out of foster care because their father pretty much had some addiction issues. Vontae was probably best known for retiring at halftime of an NFL game back in 2018. Now, this was after playing a full decade in the league, and some people worried about him after that, but he seemed to be doing well. Bro, he even recently published a children's book called Middle School Rules, where he shared some lessons that he learned during his time growing up in an unstable childhood, trying to reach back out and help the next generation. But unfortunately, his time has now come to an end. So send your thoughts and prayers to his brother and the rest of the fam. So this is a video I dropped back in 2018, kind of defending Vontae after the sudden retirement, and kind of recontextualizing the situation that was being looked at as a joke. This will not be monetized. I just wanted to show some love and shine a light on his career, which is a lot more than that one moment he's known for. He played 10 years in the league and made 2 Pro Bowls. So we'll remember the retirement, but let's remember him for the player he was in his prime as well. Of course, those who really knew him will remember him for the person that he was, but as fans, we experienced him at work. So let's remember him for his craft and the work that he did. I think that's the respectable thing to do, man. Rest in peace to Vontae. So if you're like me, you've been hearing about Vontae Davis retiring at halftime ever since Sunday. And I honestly wanted so bad to drop this video yesterday, but I was coming back in from out of town. By the time I got here, bro, it was pretty late. I didn't want to rush the video. Anyway, being able to revisit it today, there's 2 camps that seem to have formed. And some people have kind of taken their initial emotion out of it and really thought about it logically, and they may now feel differently than they did going in. That's the camp that's saying, yo, it's a free country. Any person can really quit any job they want at any time. And just because it doesn't happen that often, this includes high profile jobs such as being an NFL player. Now there's another camp who feels that it's disrespectful and that he quit on his teammates and that he should have finished the game. And both sides have valid points. Today I'm going to give you the story of Vontae Davis, a condensed version of his football career from beginning to end. I'm going to talk about what I think led to this seemingly abrupt decision, and by the end of this video, you may even switch camps. Today I'm going to answer the question, what happened to Vontae Davis? Yo, my intro song is going to sound so crazy while covering this story. Vontae Davis was raised in Washington, D.C. by his grandmother, Adeline Davis. Some families are just filled with talent, and it's clear that this was the case for the Davis family, as Vontae and his older brother Vernon both ended up having long careers in the NFL. Now, these guys have been known to get under the skin of some football purists, as Vontae's older brother Vernon inspired this speech.
Vernon just, it was something that I told everybody at the very beginning of the week. I will not tolerate players that think it's about them when it's about the team. We cannot make decisions that cost the team and then come off the sideline and it's nonchalant. I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. I cannot play with them, cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it.
Now, can you imagine the speech that Mike Singletary would have given if he was coaching the Bills right now? Like, it would be epic. Vontae was never as highly touted as his older brother though, only being rated a 3-star prospect coming out of high school. This was after catching 8 picks, racking up 600 receiving yards on offense, winning the city championship, and recording a 4.4 flat at the State College Nike camp, all during his senior year in high school. Vontae decided to attend Illinois and continue his success on the field, becoming a freshman All-American. He went on to have a great career at Illinois, recording 206 tackles and 7 interceptions in 3 years. Vontae didn't perform at his best at the NFL Combine, but he did a better job at his pro day, once again running a 4.4 flat and posting a 37.5-inch vertical. Standing 6 feet 200 pounds and playing a cornerback position, dude was hella strong, bench pressing 225 25 times. Vontae was selected in the first round, 25th overall by the Miami Dolphins. From 2009 to 2011, Vontae got 9 interceptions for the Dolphins while averaging about 40 tackles per season. But after losing his starting job in 2012, he was traded to the Colts, where he had his best NFL years, making the Pro Bowl in both 2014 and 2015. So here's the question. What happened that 3 years later, a Pro Bowl corner decides to retire at halftime? Well, it seems like it all began in 2016, where the Colts defensive coordinator Greg Manusky, who had been there since Vontae got there and helped him become a Pro Bowl corner, that D coordinator was fired. During that season, Vontae's Pro Football Focus rating went from an 86.9 in 2015, which was the 3rd highest among cornerbacks in the league, all the way down to a 47.3 in 2016. You're talking about a steep drop off. Now again, part of that decline, new defensive coordinator. Another part of that decline, nagging injury. So in 2017, when Vontae injured his groin, the Colts were beginning to think that he might be damaged goods. And Vontae ended up missing a few games. While he was out, his backup played pretty well. But after those few weeks were up, Vontae came back and he got his starting job back. But he wasn't quite the same, and the Colts decided to bench him for the younger corner. And I believe that it was at this moment in 2017 when Vontae Davis retired mentally from the National Football League. See, he was playing hurt then, and he had put off surgery on his injured groin in order to sacrifice and play for the team. But he couldn't quite cut it, so they benched him. Not only that, but they decided not to allow him to travel to the next game. Dead weight. Now, don't underestimate the disrespect here, okay? If you're a vet and you haven't shut it down, not at that point, you know what I'm saying? But you've instead decided to play through an injury when you clearly need surgery, and the teams decide, you know what, you're not traveling, no thanks. That's tough. And Vontae went ahead and came out and admitted that, yeah, he felt disrespected by this move. I mean, hell, he was a veteran and a former Pro Bowl player, so at this point, I'm not playing, I'm not even traveling, and I got a groin that needs to be surgically repaired. So of course, he gets the surgery. Now he's out for the rest of the year, and his stint with the Colts, just like that, was over. The Colts released him after the season. Now, when Vontae came into the NFL, he signed a $10 million contract. In 2014, the Colts gave him $40 million with $20 guaranteed. My point is, my man had a good career. He'd made a good living, and I think after the situation with his groin and the Colts, he was ready to walk away from it. That is, until the Bills made him an offer that he couldn't refuse. $5 million contract to play one more year. You're also dealing with the guy who had just been completely disrespected by a team who just a few years earlier he'd made the Pro Bowl with. So he wanted to prove that he could still do it. So Vontae gets to Buffalo, and I think all of us can admit that we all knew something very weird was going on there. The second they benched Tyrod Taylor last year, when he was playing pretty well and they were making a playoff push, but they were so ready to put in this other guy because apparently they'd rather lose with him than win with Tyrod. I think we all knew that this organization wasn't being run very well. But hey, Vontae makes a decision, he goes over there. Now, he's still healing from his growing injury, and the older you get, the harder it is to recover. So the deal is, Vontae was likely never 100% during this short stint with the Bills. But after Phillip Gaines and Teron Johnson both popped up on the injury report, it was time for the Bills' $5 million investment to hit the field. But he wasn't ready. Didn't matter though. So Vontae gets out there, and the game is probably moving fast as hell. plays he thinks he can make, he just can't quite get there. We all know that cornerback is a position you got to be able to move freely. You can't be thinking about your groin and your ankle or nothing. You need to be able to cut on a dime and react immediately. So Vontae's out there and he's seen everything. He's been doing this for 10 years. He already know what's up, but he cannot make the plays. And that's when he was finally able to confirm what he had been thinking really for the last year. This wasn't for him anymore. His days were done. So after making a couple tackles, getting burnt by some 20-year-old wide receivers a time or two, Vontae knew he just didn't want it bad enough anymore. He was cheating the game by being out there. So at halftime, and when you think about it, he kind of stayed true to Mike Singletary's words aimed at his brother a few years earlier.
I would rather play with 10 people rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team.
So bam, based on Mike Singletary's logic, it would be more disrespectful to go out onto the field when you're not completely, in his words, sold out for the team, or you're not completely bought in, when you're out there thinking about yourself. Now, real quick, let me read you an excerpt from Vontae Davis's retirement statement. This isn't how I picture retiring from the NFL, but in my 10th NFL season, I've been doing what my body has been programmed to do. Get ready to play on game day. I've endured multiple surgeries and played through many different injuries throughout my career, and over the last few weeks, this was the latest physical challenge. But today on the field, reality hit me fast and hard. I shouldn't be out there anymore. I meant no disrespect to my teammates and coaches, but I hold myself to a standard. Mentally, I've always expected myself to play at a high level, but physically, I know today that just isn't possible. I had an honest moment with myself. While I was on the field, I just didn't feel right. And I told the coaches, I'm not feeling like myself. I also wondered, do I want to keep sacrificing? And truthfully, I don't, because the season is long and it's more important for me and my family to walk away healthy than to willfully embrace the warrior mentality and limp away too late. Now, when I hear that, that sounds like a guy who's very self-aware, okay? That sounds like a guy who is the opposite of selfish. Because here's what's selfish, all right? I ain't feeling it no more, but guess what? If I just stay on this team, I'm gonna make another $5 million. So I can go out here, go through the motions. Our team is trash anyway. I can collect a check and be $5 million richer by the end of this. That's selfish. That is disrespectful. It's not disrespectful to say, yo, I can't help the team. So instead of me selfishly staying out here, I'm gonna go ahead and bow out. Now, again, he probably should have finished the game. He probably should have. I'll keep it a buck. He should have finished the game, all right? I'm just not in a position to judge, and probably nobody here is, but everybody's not going to be self-aware enough to know that they ain't in a position to judge. Hell, I quit my sales job on my lunch break to come and do YouTube full time. If it wasn't for that decision, I'm not even here making this video right now. It's the best decision I ever made. Sometimes things run their course, and when it's time to move on, it's time to move on. I might be taking this a little far, but I personally think what Vontae Davis did is kind of the honorable thing to do. By staying there, all you doing is blocking a young corner from coming up. You holding a spot from somebody who really wants and probably needs this job. And here you are with the job and you don't even want it. You ain't even putting everything into it. So why hold that spot? This is gonna be controversial, but anyway, that's just my opinion. I would love to know y'all's opinion in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget, click the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're brand new. Appreciate y'all watching the videos. As always, I'm gonna holler at you next time. My name's FlemLo Raps. Wow.